Okay, welcome to the January 12th, 2022 meeting of the School Building Committee. Jeremy, do you want to do roll calling tonight, or do you want me to do that from here?
I can do roll call, it's fine. We'll get started. All right, Dave.
Here.
Jason.
Here.
Lori. Jackie.
Here.
Jerry.
Here.
Bill.
Here.
Harry.
Here.
Scott. Ed.
Here.
Mark.
Here.
Rob. Steve. Mike.
Here.
Andrew.
Here.
Gail. Jack.
Here?
And the
And,
mayor will be joining us in just a few minutes.
Okay, and I think he said for us to get started. So I can see that Steve Johnson is duplicated and looks like Rachel Flynn in one of them.
Yes, it is. Like I said, bringing reinforcements, and I forwarded my invite, so it shows up as my name twice.
Okay, and it looks like the mayor is joining us.
Hey, folks.
So we have a quorum, and the first order of business will be the approval of the minutes from both December 15th and January 5th. Does anybody have any comments or questions?
There was a correction on the minutes from December 5th or 15th. Just the term agenda needs to be changed to minutes at the top.
Okay.
And Jeremy said he'd take care of that. So.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Other than that, Jackie, is there a motion?
So moved.
Terry?
Second.
Thank you. I always love having a designated mover and seconder. So if there's no other discussion, Jeremy, do you want to call the roll?
Dave.
Yes.
Jason.
Yes.
Jackie.
Yes.
Gary.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Harry.
Yes.
Ed.
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Jack.
Yes,
And Mayor Heroux.
Yes.
passes unanimously. Okay, as usual, we'll skip over the bills and we'll go right to the project update from Steve, perhaps assisted by Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel's actually going to do the update this month, Jack.
Oh, wow. Is this a reflection of the promotion you got a few months ago, Rachel?
Either that or Steve would just finally trust me with stuff.
Okay, so why don't you introduce yourself, because I'm not sure that other than those of us who attend the Wednesday morning meetings, anyone knows who you are.
Sure.
And for the record, Rob Geddes has joined us.
Sure. So my name is Rachel. I'm an assistant project manager with Consigli. I have been here from day one, kind of working behind the scenes, assisting Steve. So yeah, very familiar with the building, and I know you guys are too, and I'm excited to show you progress we made this month. So with that, I will share my screen and kind of take you through.
Take it away, Rachel.
All right. Unless I'm already sharing my screen. No, I'm not.
No, not yet.
I don't want to pull Steve here.
This
And
is
then
not Rachel.
while
This
she's
will be
doing
Rachel's
that,
last meeting.
I know.
while she's doing that, we'll just note that Mary Ann and Anjanette are here from Skanska, and Craig and Joe from KBA, also in attendance at the meeting. And so, okay, there's a very nice picture.
Yes. Yep. This is from this week. So starting with the facade, we've pretty much are out of the front of the building. We have one loading zone that will be taken out in next month, probably in February. But we're pretty much wrapped up. We had a site schedule, a meeting last week to kind of go over what the plan is for the spring and the fall. And you'll see us once the ground kind of thaws out here, just doing the landscaping. In the back of the building, let me rotate it here. So the final curtain wall went in on the back of the cafeteria, which is exciting. That was a great milestone to hit. We are now fully enclosed. All the windows are in, all the glass is in, including the gym, which I don't think we had in last month for you guys. So that's great to get in. We also wrapped up all the roof screens covering all these RTU units. So you won't see those from the street view. Going into the inside, starting up on the 4th floor of A, B, and C, the classroom wing, we are about 90% done with flooring in all the classrooms up on the 4th floor. They've moved down to the 3rd floor to start that, all that flooring. We have finished all the millwork columns also, and all the teacher breakout spaces, all the marker board walls are done. Going down to the 3rd floor in the media center. So we are just waiting on the millwork columns here, which we are just working out a couple details with Craig to make sure we got those all correct. But the ceiling is done. So we got a nice wood paneled ceiling in there. We also finished the interior windows on the other side that look out into the cafeteria. So that is a great view.
Could I stop you there for 1 second, Rachel?
Absolutely, please do.
Can you scan up?
Mhm.
Okay, there was a question, and it looks like, I'm not sure, it looks like something's been done. It was a question that was raised by a number of us about seeing an unfinished ceiling through there. And have we done something there?
No, that's the roof decking.
That's the roof decking. Okay, so that is something that Craig is looking at making some change there so that we won't see the roof decking. Is that correct?
Jack, we
Correct.
actually, yep,
Yeah.
we have that as part of the change order tonight. There's a change to add in around the edges that you're looking at, so you don't see that. So we already have the detail. We already have the pricing approved. We already have a plan there to close it in.
Excellent. So then this will make more sense when we get to that portion of it. So thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So down on the 2nd floor, pretty much wrapped up with doors, frames, and hardware down there. And again, the next thing to go in will just be the flooring. Up on the 1st, or I should say down on the 1st floor, we have all of the guardrails in. We also started putting in all these interior storefronts, so that's in. And then show you over here. Okay. No, sorry, there we go. Now in the shop spaces, this is the medical assisting lab all the way in the corner there. We've done all the casework. All these shop spaces in the FJK wing are pretty much wrapped up. We also got dentistry. All those changes are good to go, and we'll start boarding in there probably next week. But this is medical assisting. You can see all the casework. We also have the tracks in for all the curtains. So the next thing to go in here will be flooring, and then we can start putting in all the pieces of equipment. And then next area, cafeteria. So we took down all the temp partitions that we had in here for temp heating. We started boarding all these windows up. We also have all the art rooms. We put in the casework for these 2 art rooms over on the east side, and will be, once the west side is all taped and sanded, they'll moving into there and doing those. We also finished all the overhead rough, pretty much finished in the cafeteria. So we'll be starting to paint the cafeteria ceiling and then starting to do the wood ceiling similar to the one we just saw in the media center. And then speaking of wood ceilings, we also started in the auditorium. So we still have the staging up in the auditorium. That'll be coming down in 2 weeks, because as you can see, we're pretty far along with all that ceiling. And we just have some touch-up paint to do, and then we'll start taking that down. And then last area, the gym. So we started doing all the framing and the soffits on the perimeter of the gym. We also started the wing walls up here. Over beyond that, in the fitness weight room area, we started the overhead rough. So that's wrapping up. And I'm not sure if you guys saw this last month. We did have the stairs. We poured all the concrete for both of the stairs for area H as well.
Rachel, if I remember right, the wood for the gym floor is supposed to show up sometime maybe next month?
Yes, yep, it's gonna be next month, and then we have to let it acclimate to the temperatures in the building, and then we can start to install that. We also have the bleachers coming in at the end of this month. Just with COVID, we were being a little bit precautious and we wanted to get it here. So we won't be able to install those right when they show up, but we'll have them and they'll be ready to go when we are ready in the building.
Excellent. And do we have any pictures of the marketplace or not?
Sure, absolutely. Let me pull those up for you. All right. I'm going to show you the restaurant because I think that's the coolest one. All right, so your marketplace entrance is right over here. Right off that, you have the bank. Beyond that is graphics and Cosmo. This is the restaurant, which we have painted. The next step in here will be to do the ceilings, which is another intricate wood ceiling and a lot of cool light fixtures coming through that wood ceiling. So that's up next. Then we'll have, there's like a stone veneer that goes in between all the seating. And then we'll have the millwork following shortly after that.
Very impressive. So the question we ask Steve every month is, are we on schedule?
We are on schedule.
Excellent.
I think we're down to 155 days, around there.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a TCL.
That's what, to the June 16th date?
Correct.
So we're still on track for June 16th and August 25th.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Excellent. Any
Is it-
questions?
Yeah, is it safe to say we're still on budget?
Yeah, we need to ask about on budget, but I thought I'd wait until we did all the change allowances and all of that stuff. But are we, as long as it's asked, are we still on budget?
Yes, we are.
Good. Any of the committee members have questions?
Jack, it's Scott, and I apologize if this was asked previously, but Steve, we talk about being on schedule. We had gotten an update about some of the sheet metal group installing the ductwork. There might have been some COVID concerns. Are we moving forward? Are they able to make up where they might have been falling behind a little?
Yep. So we did have some of them out for a bit of time, but then we had some close contacts that were able to come back. And then we did have them work on Saturday and some extended hours last week. They did a lot of work in the locker room on Saturday. So as long as they maintain the level that they're at now and everyone stays healthy, I think we're in good shape, Scott.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, a little dip, but I think we're back.
All right, thank you.
And from this view, I think you can see how the front driveways are taking shape, correct?
Yep. Yep, this will be the new parent drop off. So that's got the binder course on there, which is right before we'll do final paving at the end of the project.
Okay. And it also looks like substantial progress has been made with the awnings or canopies at the front of the building.
Yep. So this is all glass fiber reinforced paneling. So that all went on in the past month as well. Yep. So that's pretty much finished. They just got some bottom pieces left to go, which you can't see from this angle, but.
Bill, did you have a question?
Yeah, Jack, did the city council make any decisions after that public hearing that you and I attended?
On Blue Pride, the layout of Blue Pride Way?
Yes.
Not only did they pass it, but they all signed the plan, and Jeremy has requested a check from KBA so we can record it. Correct, Jeremy?
That's correct. I have the plans here on my desk. I sent an email just confirming on what we needed document-wise, whether the plans and anything else, and we're good with just the plans. So I've requested the check from KBA that will be billed through their other reimbursable services, and then I will walk across the parking lot to file it at the registry.
The check is being sent this week.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
So then the only, Bill, just to follow up on that, once it is actually what we can see is constructed and an as-built plan is prepared, we would then be able to ask the council to accept it as a public way. And we would then record that acceptance after they take that vote. And that will get us to that point. So whether that's in place for August 25th or not, I'm not quite sure, but we'll do our best to have it as close to then as possible.
All right. Thank you. That's exciting.
Anybody else have questions for Rachel on the monthly update?
I just have a question, Jack, regarding, do we have any supply chain issues at this point?
So we've been pretty lucky. We haven't run into any supply chain issues. I would say for the past 2 months, we've been working ahead to get as much material here as we possibly could, so that we kind of safeguarded ourselves against those issues. So as of right now, we're in good shape material delivery wise.
Terry, all those pictures you saw of the cafeteria filled with stuff, the auditorium, or I should say the gym filled with stuff. That was Consigli being very proactive on the supply chain issues.
Yes, I understand. I just didn't know if there was any current supply chain issues.
Not
Nothing
currently,
that, no, Terry, we everything takes a little longer to get and our subs, and we're just trying to work that into our plan and ordering it a little earlier than we used to have to.
Great. Thank you.
So I don't want to jinx us, Terry, but I'd have to say that we've been enormously lucky with not only supply chain, but also personnel issues relating to COVID. So far, we haven't dealt with anything that we couldn't deal with. That'd be a fair statement, Steve?
Yes, I'm knocking on a lot of wood that you can't see.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Any other questions for Rachel or Steve? Okay, then I think, where do we go? Change order?
Sure.
And who's
Yep.
going to handle that?
Me.
Okay.
So change order GCO 16, there are 7 change requests on it. I'll go through them quickly. GCR 114 was for dental assistant revisions. So the design review board and some consultants worked with Jeremy and made some modifications to the layout and the equipment in the room. And that price is $118,584.89. GCR 116 was AV revisions in professional development, kind of like the new Zito room for the new building, added some boxes for some future cameras and equipment. So that was an add of $2,054.44. GCR 120, miscellaneous technology and security revisions at central offices. There was a card reader added, and again, more future TVs and data jacks in the wall. That is $16,711.66. GCR 126 was deleted some casework in the animation studio, so that is a credit of $2,555.98. GCR 130, RFI 667 rated enclosures at F11. This was a code issue regarding some MEPs that were technically considered inside the stairwell, so they needed a 2-hour enclosure on the first and second floor. So that was an add of $16,793.54. GCR 135, Area E, balcony low wall supports. So this was just some additional 4x4 steel posts added, just for added security to make sure they supported the weight of anyone leaning on them. That was an add of $2,623.18. And then GCR 138 is the ceiling in the media center that you had asked about, Jack. So this is the cost to close it in, so you don't see that decking that we saw, and it kind of looks uniform. So that is an add of $4,418.56. Grand total for the change order is $158,630.29. All of these CRs were completely vetted by Consigli, Skanska, KBA, and any consultants required. So we are seeking approval for the 158,630.29.
And just let me make a note that when we were touring in December, our former member, who's now a counselor, Kelly Bennett, our current member, Jerry Freecott, and I all noted that area where you could see the decking and asked that that be addressed. And KBA jumped on that very quickly, and so did Skanska and Consigli. So I know that at least the three of us who were there appreciate that. So thank you. Is there any question on change order 16?
Yeah, I have a quick question, Jack. I was just curious how they're going to cover that over. They're going to cover that over with wood, or what are they going to cover that space with?
Craig, do you want to walk through the detail?
Sure. We have this in between the wood ceilings. There's a strip of black ceiling that's already there, that the lights and the diffusers sit in already. We are using that same ceiling and just bringing it around the edges as well to the actual edge of the soffit. So it'll look the same height and everything as the gaps that exists between the wood. That, yeah, thank you for sharing, Rachel. Is that area that you see the black line that'll extend out to the soffit.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Okay, anybody else have any questions on that? Hearing none, a motion would be in order to approve GCO 16 in the amount of 158,630.29.
Move to approve.
Second,
Thank you. Any discussion? Jeremy?
All right, Dave,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Jackie,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Harry,
yes,
Scott,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes,
and Mayor.
Yes.
it passes unanimously. Steve, before we leave this log, are there any new items you need to explain to us?
Yeah, we got a handful of new potential CRs that we're tracking. I'll go through those quickly. Number 134 is some line striping revisions along Rathburn Willard Drive. So that is the new Rathburn Willard and then the extension. And then it's so adding some lines and the bike lane and then coordinating with the work that Mike Tyler and his people are going to be doing from the 123 extension heading towards the job site. That is approximately $5,400. Item 136, culinary classroom AV revisions. So that's adding a camera, a microphone, and a TV into that room, roughly $16,232.
And that is for, so the teacher will be able to, in the related classroom, be able to have an overhead camera to show what the teacher's doing. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, that's correct. It's modifying some of what's there based on what's being procured through the technology budget. The actual equipment is being bought through the technology budget, but this is making modifications to accommodate the selected equipment.
Okay. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah. Item 137, miscellaneous revisions to lighting and CTE spaces. So this is fairly extensive. We added some floor boxes in the engineering lab, added a refrigerator, a clock in the cafeteria, and added some couple of different locations, auditorium, and a couple other locations with some different graphics and power for a TV screen. And then there were some lights and power added to various display cases. So that's roughly $47,074. And then item 139, culinary kitchen, where we talked about we had the cracking tile issue, and SGH was hired as a consultant to come in, a third party, do a review and assess the situation. And so this is a credit for the cost of their work of $40,664.90. And behind the scenes, the subcontractor that took responsibility for the cracked tile is ultimately going to be paying for this, but the project gets credited back the money via this change request. So all four of these are being vetted right now, not seeking approval tonight, but they're on the radar. No other new ones from last month.
Any questions on those items? And obviously we were very glad to hear that not only did we figure out what the cracking tile problem cause was, but that the proper party stepped up to the plate to pay for it. So that's awfully good news.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, if there are no other questions, we go to the contingency log, Steve, is that where we go next?
Yes, and we have one contingency transfer we'd like formal approval of tonight, and that's the maintenance building. We had previously approved a not to exceed number of 900,000. And since then, we have finalized the number and vetted it out, and Skanska, KBA, and consultants have reviewed it and approved it on their side. So the final value is $843,556.41. And this would come out of contingency, so it wouldn't increase the overall GMP of the project.
And so this is $56,000 better than our not to exceed number that we voted a couple of months ago, so you could get started on this, correct?
Correct.
So therefore, we need to rescind the not to exceed of 900,000 and replace it with approval of GCT 039 in the amount of $843,556.41, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Is that understandable to everyone? Anybody have any comments or questions? Hearing none. Jackie?
So moved.
Second,
Thank you. Jeremy?
All right, on GCT 039, Dave,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Jackie,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Terry,
yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes,
and Mayor.
Yes.
passes unanimously. Any items you need to preview for us on the contingency log that may have been added, Steve?
No, nothing added since last month, Jack.
Good, because we all decided a couple months ago that the change order ship had sailed, right?
Yes.
So very good. Then is there anything else that you need to do to update us on the project for this month?
Just briefly, the allowances, we always touch base on them, and they're still trending in the correct direction. They're trending as savings. And like we talked about before, it is coming true. We are watching winter conditions and winter heat costs. The good news is we put some extra money in there as a projection, but the building being as tight as it is certainly helping the situation. Like, we've had a cold snap the past couple of days, and the building's staying right where we needed to, which is good news. It did cost a little bit of extra money for fuel this month, but based on where we are with all the other allowances, we are not in danger of going over the grand total of allowances. We've shifted money from some allowances to help any of the overruns with the winter heat here. So overall, good news on the allowance front as well.
And I'm not sure whether we had done this as of last month, but the gas meter was installed and we are actually using some of the building's internal systems. Is that correct?
Yes, we are. In the academic wing of the upper floors, the radiant heat panels that are on the classroom side have been turned on to help with the heat.
And we fired up a boiler to do that?
Yes, we did.
And the electric company has not yet installed the meter, but they allowed us to get permanent power, correct?
So they have since installed the meter, Jack.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
Okay.
they snuck in late one day and they did install the meter. So
I was wondering how they thought they were going to get paid.
yeah, so we have permanent power and it's being metered, and we have permanent heat.
And those are two significant milestones, correct?
Yes, they are. Yep, and the most important thing for us is to be able to maintain temperature and humidity for the next few months so we can continue with finishes.
Okay. Anything else that you or Rachel want to update us on?
Nope, I believe we are good.
Good. Then Anjanette, do we go to you next?
Sure. Oops, sorry, I raised my hand instead of sharing my screen. Hold on. Okay, can you all see that?
Not yet.
Okay, how's that?
I think it's, yeah, and now it's up.
Okay, great. So this month, Skanska's invoice was $80,280 billed towards a project. KBA presented an invoice for $114,805. Consigli's invoice included $5,012,063 for contract work. And then these items here in the green were charges against the change order work, for a total of $5,100,716.73. The amount that's on the meeting minutes is actually the amount certified, which deducts the retainage being held, which is this number down here, $4,854,329.44. My value here for the project cost for the city of Attleboro include a couple of invoices that were received by the project related to the charges from SGH for the tile investigation that Jeremy hasn't yet included in his summary yet. So that's why my number is a little bit different, but it does reflect the charges that Jeremy has. The one charge, the 9,000, that's in the meeting minutes. So the total invoice that we have this month is $5,338,174, which brings us to 70% completion as far as payments go. I don't know if anybody has any questions. Our change orders were billed out to about 55% of what our change orders are billed we are, I'm sorry, our change orders, we have used or allocated about 55% of what we had in our contingency. And that is a value that Consigli thinks, and we've all sort of discussed it, that's probably going to be used by the time we end the project. So, but anyways, we're running right on track, and I think we're in good shape. And if anybody has any questions specific, let me know.
Any questions from the committee? So then I don't know whether I should ask you or whether I should ask Jeremy this, but how are we doing on ordering furniture and other things that we had our special meeting on?
So the furniture that is being procured through KBA for the project, all of the POs have been presented to the city with the exception of a small number of miscellaneous items. There's also one PO that there's some language that needs to be adjusted so that the auditor is comfortable signing the purchase order. So we're right on track with that. The PO for the AV equipment that we asked for approval on last week is, I believe, with the mayor for signature, and that will be issued immediately after he signs that. I did receive an email from Scott Goodrich, who's the AV consultant, hoping to get that sooner rather than later, as there seems to be an issue with chips for some of the AV equipment. And so the sooner we can get that back to Scott, he'll issue it to the subcontractor, the better off we'll be. And then I think, Craig, you can probably speak better to the procurement of the rest of the IT equipment.
Sure, yeah, it's being finalized. The remaining equipment is servers, different computers, those. So it's just working with Jonathan from OIT, Jonathan Ford, to finalize all the numbers and what types of computers, et cetera. So these are the kind of the miscellaneous items, but the big picture items that would need to be installed to operate everything is what was in that original PO, the AV. So this is classroom projectors and all of those other pieces of equipment.
Anybody have any questions on those items? Anjanette, do you want to brief us on the work that you're doing now for the move management and the issue that was discussed this morning about identifying what gets moved from the old school, what gets stored somewhere else, et cetera?
Sure. So we have procured the services of a professional move manager, Eva Hamori from STV DPM. So we met today with 3 potential movers that are going to bid actually moving all of the miscellaneous items, small pieces of equipment that have not been procured through the contract. AET has a contract with Consigli, and they're moving, any of the big printers in one of the labs, all of that big stuff they'll take care of. So these movers that we had today will be providing crates for which the staff and faculty can just sort of pack everything to go. They'll move it over to the new building and put it in the appropriate rooms. When everything is empty, they'll come back and they'll take the crates and the bins and all of that away. So there's a lot of furniture that isn't going to be relocated to the new building. So we are going to start a conversation next week with Mark Furtado, Jason, Consigli, and Skanska in coming up with a plan as to what will happen to all of that when the project is complete. We have a very small window after school is dismissed for the academic year and when Consigli needs to start the demolition of the building, which is a little over a month. So during that time, anything and everything has to go. There's a little bit of money for some dumpsters for broken items and all that kind of stuff. We've Consigli is carried with the demo sub, but other than that, we're going to have to make an effort and make a decision where all of that furniture, the existing furniture, is going to go.
And so, Mark, I don't know if you want to comment on that, but I assume that you and your staff and Jason, whoever, are all going to be looking for various places in other schools to put a lot of these things. Would that be fair?
Jack, yeah, we're gonna go through the, what's being left behind first through the lens of, what we could use at our other buildings, and then make decisions on the rest of it.
Okay, very good. Anybody have any questions on the move? All right, anything else you need to brief us on, Anjanette?
I don't think so.
Okay, Mary Ann, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't. I think the project is going well, and this has been a huge effort by all involved here.
Thank you. Craig, anything you want to add this month?
Nothing that I haven't said in previous meetings. At this point, it's good for me that I don't have to talk, because then I don't have to explain anything that I messed up. So nothing else to add right now.
Okay. And Joe, anything you want to add?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Jack.
Okay, thank you. I guess.
Jack, if I could, I have a couple of questions before we close it out.
Sure, Mike. And we have to pay the bills, but go ahead.
All right, thank you. I just didn't want to get too far off the budget. I know I had a meeting in December with Consigli and Skanska, I believe, had representation. KBA had representation there when we talked about the solar crosswalk lights. So I haven't seen that put into the change of the budget unless that was done last year. I'm just wondering if that has been done. And who's going to be paying for that solar crosswalk lights that the chief has requested from the beginning, and the required signage for those, and the speed tables.
Steve, you want to address that, or Anjanette, or who wants to address that?
We just discussed that in previous meetings. I don't know if Mike was not there. The speed tables are part of the project and are going in as part of the work on the roadways. The signage is part of the project. However, Mayor Heroux had said at a previous meeting that the solar powered crosswalk lights would be provided through the city, as you have a specific type that you use, and that they can be installed after the fact without damaging the sidewalks or the curbing. Am I remembering correctly, Paul?
Yes, sorry, had to unmute it. Sorry, yes, that is correct. Yeah, Mike,
Yes.
DPW, they use a very specific lighted crosswalk solar power. They're uniform across the city. So I figured it would be easy if we just go ahead and, fund that through the city side. So Mike, what we would do is you would send me a memo asking for the money for however many sets we need. And that way, it's all done, controlled by your operation.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I know I missed quite a few meetings in December. So just trying to make sure that we coordinate this, which kind of leads up to my second kind of question here. So we're kind of excited on our project at the set of lights at Rathburn Road Drive and Thatcher Street, and all the improvements that the mayor has approved on Rathburn Road Drive up to the new high school city limits. Just went out to bid. So that's kind of exciting news for us. I know Jeremy just put in a request to the city council to fund this project. I think on the public works part, since we're going to be heading that project, is who should I be doing the coordination of once we have a contractor on board? Because basically the new high school project limits are coming so far down Rathburn Road Drive. Ours are abutting right next to that. I don't know if that's something I should be coordinating with Mary Ann, Steve, Dave Gorman, I just want to make sure I'm going through the proper entity to coordinate these things. So we don't have crews working back to back or simple logistics not being missed, like putting a stub in a sidewalk to accommodate a solar crosswalk with a signage that's going to be required in the future.
It sounds like all of the above. Would that be correct, Steve?
Yeah, well, Mike, we're certainly okay with you going directly to Dave. That's probably the best on our side.
Okay.
From a field perspective. And if Dave's not around, certainly grab me. We no issue going directly to us and us just talking.
And you should keep Skanska and KBA in the loop on those conversations as well, Mike.
Sure. I mean, every time I've had a meeting over there, I mean, there's been somebody from, KBA or Skanska and, consignly involved. So I'm hoping everybody keeps in a loop. But what I didn't want to do was go directly to Dave and then come to find out I was supposed to be dealing with Mary Ann or Steve or, I just want to make sure I'm using the proper channels. That's all.
And we would, I think as Dave McKinley may have mentioned, Mike, when he met with you, that we would appreciate if when you do have more information on the striping that's going to happen on the roadways going from our limit of work down to the traffic lights, because I think you're going to be restriping some of that area, I understand, that we have that information so we can coordinate the striping location of the new roadways that we're doing to make sure they line up. We just don't want to have a glitch where we have a step in the line or something where we're going from your process to our process. So once you have that information, if you could forward that to Consigli, they'll be coordinating between our sketch and what you have done. And you may have already done that with Dave McKinley, I don't know, but we just want to make sure that the final sketch is coordinated.
Okay. Yep, that's a great point, Joe, because after our meeting we had last time, I did sit down with the chief of police. He did make the decisions on where the no parking, the speeds, the line striping, the width of the shoulders. We do have all that information now.
Great.
Fortunately, I'm just getting back into the saddle of things here. I've kind of lost a month of my life. So I will get that information over to Dave Gorman and make sure that KBA and Skanska is also aware of all the decisions the city has made since our last meeting.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you all.
And Mike, that's really good news. I'll just say that two people at this meeting, Jackie and I, have been asking for that light since the early 1990s. So we're really, really pleased to hear that that's moving forward.
Well, I got to tell you, the thanks belongs all to the mayor. The mayor understood the importance of this project. And I guess the city was, I should say, probably don't want to go above myself right now because it hasn't been approved by the city council, the funding, but I would have to say, like I say, he realized the importance of it. He actually expanded the scope to make sure that we're not missing a certain section where we have this project being an act of beauty and then missing 200 feet. So I think it's going to be a great project altogether, but I thank the mayor for making sure that this was a priority to the city and funding it properly. So I can't take any credit for that. I'm just a logistics guy, but all the credit needs to go to the mayor at this point for all that, and Jeremy.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you. And the whole, I have a kind of a hope that the whole stretch from basically County Square, or actually, I guess I should say Maple Terrace, all the way down to Snell Street is just going to completely be done over with new road, new paving, new sidewalks, and then a nice traffic lights at that intersection. But basically, we're looking at Maple Terrace all the way down to Snell. It has this really ugly trench in it right now from a gas line that was done over many years ago. And it's been there for years. And this is one of the heaviest traveled spots in the city. So what started off with us talking, it was going to probably be a $700,000 project, is now a $1.75 million project. But it's, if we're going to do it, let's just do it right, do it once and not have to do it again.
Outstanding. Okay. Then I guess we should pay the bills, unless you have any other questions, Mike. I guess he doesn't. All right, so we have the Skanska bill, the Castle Blues bill, the Consigli bill, the Briggs bill, and the SGH bill all appear to be in order. and they've all been recommended to us. So is there a motion to approve all 4 of them in a total of $5,060,160.94?
Move to approve all 5 of them.
Second,
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Jeremy, you want to call the roll?
All right, Dave,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Jackie,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes. Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mary,
yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes,
and the mayor.
Yes.
passes unanimously. So we have a meeting scheduled for, this says February 9th, but I have written in my calendar February 16th. So I'm going to ask Mary Ann or Steve, did we push it back to the 16th or are we on for the 9th?
No, we pushed it to the 16th for billing purposes.
Correct.
Okay, so the February meeting will be on the 16th. And then do we want to make the March meeting the 16th as well, Steve?
Without looking at a calendar, it sounds like it's going to be exactly like February. So yes.
Yeah,
If that's
there's
if that works.
28 days, 4 full weeks in most Februarys. So,
So yeah, so February 9th, yep, and then
February
March.
6th, February 16th and March 16th would be the next 2 meetings.
March is
correct?
March
Not
is also-
February 9th. No.
Yep. So March 16th would be ideal for us.
Okay, so February 16th and March 16th.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Anybody have anything else they want to bring up? And hearing none, Jackie, a motion would be in order to adjourn at 6:21.
Move to adjourn.
Second,
Thank you. Jeremy?
Dave,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Jackie,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mary,
yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes,
and the mayor.
Yes.
we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Jack. Good night.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Right.
We have to be